All right, San Diego now has a little bit better idea of who is vying to be the city's next leader. Last night, KPBS hosted a televised mayoral debate, and the candidates quickly got personal in defending their positions and attacking their opponents. In their opening and closing statements there, the candidates delivered messages that help define their campaigns, and at least they have up to this point, but it's really the heated exchanges in between where the candidates, well, they got after each other here, and that highlighted the debate.
So I have a question for Nathan Fletcher. Are you currently under investigation for an ethics violation?
Yeah, as usual, Carl, your facts are off. We're not under any investigation by the Ethics Commission.
There you go. Although Carl DeMaio and Nathan Fletcher displayed the most friction, they weren't the only ones taking jabs.
My plan, as I said, I cap pensions, I refinance, and I negotiate a 5-year labor pact. Is there something about that you're missing there, Craig?
Bob, by the way, where is the proof about the savings that you present in your plan? That's why we want to see a plan.
Pretty entertaining, honestly. Later today, the candidates will sound off at another mayoral forum hosted by the Thomas Jefferson School of Law. Our political analyst John Dadian joins us here this morning to talk about that debate, and we'll talk about the national issues as well here. John, first up, what about some of the exchanges here? Is this going to be fun, an actual campaign with some public interest here, you think?
Real simple answer, 46 days.
Yeah.
46 days. So clearly it's getting down to crunch time. From here on out, it's going to get a lot tougher and it's going to get a lot nastier than what you saw. I thought that was pretty tame. Everybody's saying how the interchange, but I thought that was tame compared to what's going to happen the next couple of weeks.
Well, I mean, I know all these people in general, they really are, they're not enemies. They really are acquaintances, and they're quite cordial to one another. But now's the time to make your points and differentiate from the other one. And if they're saying something that you don't think is true, I mean, we're so reluctant to, on the national stage, to use the word lie. I'm kind of hoping that maybe they heat it up here locally and kind of get after it.
Well, clearly the polls show what I've been saying for several weeks here on this show, and that is it really is very fluid. It really could go anywhere. Yeah, there's a couple candidates that seem like they're the front runners, but as we know, 46 days is a lifetime of politics. That can change. And again, the old cliche is it's going to count on election day. It doesn't really count what's happening today. It counts what sways people when they actually put that little X.
Okay, we'll come back to the local scene here in just a second, but let's talk about on the national stage right now, Rick Santorum. He's bowed out of the race for the Republican nomination for president, but he hasn't endorsed Mitt Romney either just yet. Is there a reason for this delay here, or do we think this is forthcoming?
A lot of very interesting little dynamics going on here. They say they're going to have a meeting in a week or two, but that meeting hasn't been set yet. And clearly what Santorum's going to do, he's going to put all his chips on the table and say, look, this is what I want. And it may be a role at the national convention. It may be a role in the campaign. It might be de facto a wink and a nod as far as I really want to be considered in the cabinet. So that's right. He's got leverage now, and he wants to use it. Here's something interesting that I really didn't see a lot in the mainstream media this week. Monday of this week, Santorum dropped out, a while ago. He sent out a fundraising letter criticizing Romney Monday this week, and he says that it scares him, possible Romney. I don't think that bodes well. The Santorum campaign is saying that was a mistake, that it was an old letter that
kind of a big oops.
It's about as big as oops as you can get.
Yeah.
That hurts his leverage for this upcoming meeting.
Yeah, absolutely, you would think it would. If Romney can say, well, you're still out there criticizing me, why should I give you anything?
Absolutely.
All right, well, we'll keep an eye on that. Okay, circling back here to the local politics, a lot of money is going to be spent here now on this mayoral race, and these candidates have some money to spend. Who's going to kick it all off here and be the first one to open the purses?
Well, it's been Fletcher so far and continues to be Fletcher. There's just a story the other day about Specific. They pulled actually all the reports from the media buys, and it's interesting. He's buying heavily on cable. Things such as if you're watching Animal Planet, you're going to see a Fletcher commercial. All these real, different cable shows on both the main cable companies. So he's doing the big push. I think the others are waiting. They're going to wait another week or two and then unload it. That last 2 weeks is really going to be heavy airwaves.
Going to see a lot of these candidates on the airwaves.
And don't forget direct mail. Those mailboxes are going to start getting jammed.
I hope folks will really pay attention to the debate, too. And this is really an important election coming up.
Again, this is why you and I won't be candidates, because they're having sometimes 2 to 3 debates a day, and it's going to get more intense here coming up right up until Election Day, et cetera. So it's very tough. Again, last night was a televised debate. I think that's great. They'll be replaying that. I think that really does. I've always said, and I say this with all sincerity, is the great thing for citizens of San Diego. You've got 4 candidates. You've got 4 great choices. They all have different perspectives. They're very clear on their perspectives. They're very clear about the difference between them and their opponents. So I think that's good for the San Diego voters.
It just sounds like it. It really does. All right, John Dadian, good to see you as always. We'll check back with you next week sometime and see what the latest is then.
Very good.
Okay.